welcome back to Retirement Today. Your co-host here, Jonathan Berglund, and with me in the studio, Michael Reese, certified financial planning professional for over 25 years, helping all of those out there in radio land and in person get to and through retirement with success. We talked a little bit about the secret to retirement here a little bit ago. It centered a lot about income, right? The secret is making sure you have that stable income. That's an important factor for everyone in retirement.
Yeah, I was actually having a great conversation yesterday with one of our clients. And I came across him because he is a child of one, like we have a client who's retired, but then we're also helping their children, which we do a lot.
Yeah, we talk to the family.
Yeah. And let's call him Joe. Not his name, we'll call him Joe.
Simple name, like it.
So I'm talking to Joe, and we were evaluating his retirement planning. And he was maxing out his 401k plan.
Good for him.
Right? Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and he's like 38, 39 years old, so I think roughly 20,000 is the most he can put in.
Right.
Now, his company matches, they had a pretty good match. They were actually matching about, I want to say about 8,000 of it.
Okay, yeah.
But there's about 12,000 he's putting in there that's not getting a match. And I asked him, so why do you put money into your 401k? And his response was, well, because I want to be able to retire someday.
What do you mean, why?
Yeah. I mean, duh. I'm like, okay, but let's explore this a little bit more. What is the goal of your money? When you put money in your 401k, what do you want to see it do?
Grow.
I want it to grow, right?
Simple.
Why do you want it to grow? Well, so I can retire someday. Well, let's think about this. Let's take this down the road. So today you're 38. What's going to happen when, let's say you're 60 years old and you're ready to retire?
Yep.
You build up $3 gazillion in this account. It grew for you. It did what you wanted to do. What's got to happen now? Well, now you got to take money out. How are you going to do that?
Well,
so what does Stephen Covey say? Begin with the end in mind, right?
yes.
And I said, so really when you think about it, the reason you want it to grow is when there's more money there, hopefully it will produce more income in retirement. And so the goal is, how do we grow it, or how do we allocate those funds so that at some point down the road it creates the most income? By the way, as you're growing the money in the 401k, guess what? You got to pay tax on all that income later on.
Yes.
I'll talk about that later, right? So we were having a conversation about how do you allocate your funds so that you have not necessarily the most amount of money in retirement, but the most net after-tax income in retirement. The key is not how big the pot is. The key is how much income the pot will generate over your lifetime, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about protecting your income. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see people have made over, my entire career is they don't protect their income. So what happens when you don't protect your income? And what's an example of that? Well, I'm just going to put my money in a balanced investment portfolio that's diversified, and I'm just going to take out 4% a year.
Yeah.
That is not protecting your income. That is, I hope the market cooperates so that my income continues.
You're on the ride. Your income's on the ride.
Yeah, your income could go up, down. Who knows what it's going to do? It's not protected. So let's say you retire with your, I don't know, $1 million. Now, as you're listening, you might have more than that. You might have less than that. It doesn't matter. I'm just using this as an example.
Yeah.
Let's say you retire with $1 million. And you say, well, the financial industry says I should be able to get 4% income. Well, on $1 million, that's $40,000 of income. And the financial industry says I should just invest in a diversified portfolio and take out my $40,000 every year and grow with inflation, and that should last my entire lifetime. Well, unfortunately, studies tell us that, and the financial industry doesn't want you to know this because it's against their best interests, but studies tell us that all it takes is one bad year in the first 10 years of your retirement. 1 year where the stock market loses 20% or more, once, and guess what? It blows up your retirement, and suddenly you run out of money, right?
Yeah, and the chances of that, right? I mean, that's
who wants?
Very possible.
Yeah, who wants that? Why? That's not protected income. Yeah. To say, hey, we've got that $1 million. What if we were to carve out a piece of it, a chunk of it, to protect your income? And then the rest of it could be invested in the markets for longer term periods right? So, you know how you win in investing. You win by using that four-letter word, time.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I mean, more than anything else, the more time you have, the more likely you are to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. So, here's what we do. Let's say you got that $1 million. Let's say you want that $40,000 a year. Okay, now, this is different for everyone. So what I'm about to describe, this is just a concept. It is not for everyone. And in fact, everyone, you might have different cash flows. You're trying to, trying to work your way through.
Different situations.
Different situations. So, but let's imagine that you've got that $1 million and you want that $40,000 to come out every year, growing with inflation. And the purpose of that money is to supplement maybe Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just that simple. One possible approach you might take is you might say, of that $1 million, I'm going to carve out 400,000 of it.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it in some type of financial tool where I can protect my income,
Mm-hmm.
where the money is protected, it's safe, and I can take out my 40,000 a year, growing over time. And if you do that, and then the other 600,000 goes in the growth side.
Yeah.
Guess what? That 400,000 invested the right way should last about 12, 13, 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you retire when you're 65, that gets you out to almost 80.
Almost 80, yeah. That's a good stretch.
Now, at that point, that account is gone. It's depleted because you spent it down to zero. But what's been going on with that other 600,000? You've bought 12, 13, 14 years for it to do what?
It's a lot of time to grow. Yeah.
Yeah, and it should grow past the $1 million you started with and then some, and you just play the game again. Now, I would tell you there's a better way, though. The better way is, whatever your income need is, in this case 40,000,
Mm-hmm.
take 15 times that number.
Okay.
So that's 600,000. You put that 600,000 in the protected income side. And then that money will last like 20 years. So you're like 85. Now there's a little less money in the growth side, 400,000, but it's got a lot longer period, almost 10 more years to
A
grow.
lot longer, yeah, yeah.
That is where the secret sauce comes in.
The magic happens. Yeah.
That's when good stuff starts happening. So if you're able to follow that path, then that's beautiful. And you want to start thinking about setting these types of protected income accounts up. If you're within 5 years of retirement, you should already be doing this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So what makes a protected income account? Well, I have in my hands, there's a recent book that came out by Dr. Wade Pfau. This guy is one of the preeminent academics who studies retirement income planning.
He knows a thing or two. Yeah.
He's written multiple books.
Yeah.
And recently he had a book come out called Safety First Income Plans. And at the end of the day, here's what he says. He says, at the end of the day, you shouldn't own bonds in retirement.
Okay.
Bonds are dead.
Bonds are dead.
It
Yeah.
says, instead, you should use properly designed annuities. Properly designed annuities where your principal is protected, where you're linking your earnings to the stock market, where you're getting a decent rate of return, maybe in the 5 to 8% range in today's world. It says, don't use bonds, use these annuities. If you do that, your income will be more protected, be safer, and you'll be able to get more income than if you were using bonds. So that's, if you're not talking about that, if you're nearing retirement, you're not looking at those tools, or you're not sure if you have, maybe you have annuities, you're not sure if you have the right annuity,
Yeah, that's a big one.
then that happens a lot.
Mhm.
People have annuities, but they have the wrong, we see that every day.
Yes.
That the wrong type of annuity for their income, then you know what, you owe it to yourself to give us a call,
Yeah, reach out.
right? That's what we're here for. We're here to help you. So if you're sitting there and you're like, man, I'm not 100% certain that I'm doing the right thing for retirement. I mean, that's probably true for a lot of you. It's so easy. We want to provide you the easiest path to making sure you're on the right track for your retirement. We do it with our Retire Right report. RIGHT stands for risk, income, growth, healthcare, taxes. Why not give us a call? And, you have to have at least $200,000 saved for retirement.
That's it.
Have to be one of the first 10 callers. But as long as you fit those parameters, you give us a call. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if we can help you. Just double check that you're on the right path. So, Jonathan, how do our listeners reach out to us? What's the phone number?
That's right.
What do we need to do?
Reach out to us. It's real simple. Call us at 512-886-5850. Again, 512-886-5850. Reach out to us, get your retirement back on track, get that Retire Right report. Our number is 512-886-5850.
Maybe you're in a position you said, man, I'm down. I have my accounts are smaller than what they were when the year started.
Yeah.
This is a great time to take a step back and say, hey, let's make sure that going forward we're making those right decisions. So again, that number, Jonathan?
512-886-5850.
All right, fantastic. All right, don't go anywhere. When we come back, I get to be king
That's
for
right.
a day. We're going to
Yes.
make up some fun rules. We'll see you on the other side.